Okay.
Well, I've already messed one person up this morning. It was kind of early. So
I'm sorry. I just got it working. You said what?
nothing.
See, it's going to be one of those days.
It's already been one of those days.
I know what he said.
Where have all the camels gone? That's all I want to know. Where have all the camels gone? They've gone far, far away. Missing in action, right? Here we are. Le déplorable du jour.
Oh, okay.
A title we share with pride.
All right.
No, I've already done.
No.
Too bad y'all don't have a special signature like I do. Maybe if you try a little harder, you'll be awarded distinctive titles.
Oh, you still on your mean title?
Oh, you brought that up? Oh, for heaven's sake. Why did you bring that up? I was in a good mood.
Once and for all,
And
he's
then you
not
did
me.
You were already talking about being mean.
I did not even use the word.
Didn't he, Chris? Chris is like, I'm staying out of it.
Chris is saying no.
I'm just saying he's not mean.
No, you're not mean.
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Moore.
Barrels.
It's another hump day.
Oh.
But as hard as I try, even on Wednesdays, I've yet to see a camel anywhere around these here parts. When was the last camel you saw? Up close and personal. Live. Real.
Never.
Really?
No. So I went on Beverly Hillbillies, but that was it.
What?
That was Jethro.
Yeah.
What?
Last resident that I remember was at the Totemin Zoo in Monkey Junction there just south of Wilmington, between Wilmington and Carolina Beach. There was a camel there. And if you go get real close to the camel, be prepared. Take a towel with you because you might get spat upon.
Right.
They do spit a lot.
Huh.
And do we have, I left that noisemaker up there on, didn't I?
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
I got a bunch of fans in here to try to get the air circulating to, just. Oh yeah, that's much quieter. I can actually almost hear myself now.
What a difference! Wow.
Only a couple days away from the day that we celebrate what our founding fathers accomplished at the end of the 18th century. Yeah, it was the 18th century, in case y'all are counting. Obtaining independence from a nation that some fed-up English men and women decided that enough was enough back in the day, and they headed for the New World. Obtaining independence from England was a royal battle in itself. Keeping that independence has been achieved generation after generation after generation, war after war, until here we are, 2025, still free. The wars we won may be over. Keeping us safe and free is a never-ending battle. Our thanks, our prayers go to all men and women who have fought those battles, and to those men and women who this very minute sit in harm's way, ready to battle known and unknown enemies in lands far away. We should never forget those first responders, either peace officers, firefighters, rescue and emergency room personnel who, like our military, are on duty 24/7 to keep us safe and secure. Yesterday was my frivolous, throwaway, be nice to everybody day. At the end of the show, I did not feel any better or worse than on my normal, mean self days.
What?
Being naturally obnoxious comes easy.
What?
Being naturally obnoxious for me comes easy. Trying to be nice was a lot of work. What was said is that virtually no one seemed to appreciate my nice side. So, to keep myself from working up a sweat, I'm not going to be nice anymore. I'm going to be normal.
I'm going to take this. I'm scared.
Chris will explain it to you later on, I guess.
That's right.
Hey, y'all, what's up? It's Wednesday.
Everything's
it's hump
good.
day,
Nothing. I'm just so happy to be here in your presence.
Me too.
I don't have any presents. I didn't bring a thing to give anybody.
Chris and I, we're just
except my meanness.
happy to be able to work with such a fine man who's very
Who
knowledgeable
came in?
and happy and it's just loves everybody. How am I doing?
Good. Who are you talking about?
She's running for office. She's decided she's going to get into the political arena.
Oh no, if I wanted to do
That sounded
that,
like a bunch of Bravo Sierra, so she may as well.
I would be
file for
like,
something.
I'm here for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
Bravo Sierra.
No camel, but I have been very up close to an elephant. Very up close. Here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I did too back in the circus days. You used to have a circus here.
Yeah.
Wear one
That's the one that I
We
went to.
wore an elephant.
on my blouse. Yes.
Oh, one of those.
This,
Speaking of, you were talking about the zoo in Wilmington.
Yeah,
What happened to it? It's gone.
the guy died.
Well, darn.
What do you expect? He took it with him.
We used to love going up there to the zoo.
He was a really nice guy.
Yes. Those
he and-
birds
He
don't
and
like
his
the
wife,
birds.
his wife's name was June, and she, an interesting character herself. She was about, Robin would have been tall compared to her. Okay. And in World War II, he was in the South Pacific in the Navy.
Really?
Yeah, he brought a bunch of shells, and I had a chance to photograph a bunch of his shells
Oh, cool.
that he brought back from the South Pacific. And
Right.
she, guess what she did? She was one of the Rosie girls.
Really?
Rosie the Riveter. She was in the nose cone of those airplanes putting rivets in. She was. We did a story with her.
oh, pretty neat.
Yeah, he was. I
You
thought
just
so.
never know.
You don't know who's
All
out there
that-
doing what. But you got to ask questions. I talk. Yeah, I talk. I guess what? I talk.
From going to the zoo, I never knew all that.
Mhm.
I just remember those little monkeys in the cages. They
Now-
would spit
Now,
at you.
Oh, yeah.
that was at the gas station that used to be there at the original. That's why they named it Monkey Junction. There was
Right.
a filling station, not a gas station. A filling station. That's what we called them. At the what is now Monkey Junction. Myrtle Grove Junction is the official name.
Right.
But it was there, and they had a cage full of monkeys. Why? Because there was nothing between Wilmington and Carolina Beach except that crossroads, for the most part.
I
No
remember the
businesses, no
monkeys.
nothing. So people would drive down, and they would stop there because the road from Wilmington to Carolina Beach was forever. It seemed like in those days.
Yeah.
So people would stop, and they had an attraction there. They got a cage full of monkeys, and then suddenly it was Monkey Junction.
I didn't know
How do you
that's
like
how
history?
I got his name.
I love
Unfortunately,
history.
it wasn't history.
I
to me.
just
lived
thought
through it.
because that intersection was all monkeyed up. I mean, you
Oh,
know,
it wasn't.
oh man, that intersection.
That's good.
Yeah, I used to have to go that way a lot when I went to the Myrtle Grove post office, and Monkey Junction. You talk about a crazy intersection.
The post office at Myrtle Grove
Uh-huh.
was a 2-day trip from downtown Wilmington back in the day.
Right.
You know, horse and buggies and stuff like that.
Yes.
It was a lot. But anyway, yeah, that's why it was there. You could actually make that trip a lot faster. Back then, they had a speed limit that was normal. Today it's up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well,
If the
Wilmington's-
cops wanted to do speed traps, that would be the
Oh, yeah.
perfect road. But they don't do it. There's, you know,
Well, for
they got
anyone
they got
that's
some decent people in.
for anyone that's not been to Wilmington, I'd say even the last 6 to 9 months,
Good
it's
luck.
changed. Yeah, it's
No
not
kidding.
like how you would go in on 17 and make that left onto military cutoff.
Mhm.
It's all changed now.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just like, I about got lost in Wilmington not long ago. I was like, wow, all
Nice.
these
So, when you stay on Market Street,
right,
going downtown,
right.
where it gets down to like the two
It's
lanes.
beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I love the trees that overgrow,
Yeah.
you know, that shelter the road.
I went to a wreck there. A woman hit a tree, and there was no problem in the officer, Wilmington PD, arresting her for driving while impaired because she said that tree jumped out in front of her.
I was just gonna say, you
I
gotta
kid
watch
you
out.
not. That's what she said.
You got to watch out for those trees that'll jump out
They
in front
will
of you
jump
in a
out. and
heartbeat.
Did it in front of her.
It's so beautiful down there. And I think
Yeah.
that this is I heard that the college president lives there. One of the bigger houses on the right side.
It does, right there. It's 17th-ish and Market Street.
Yeah.
Well, Rayford, are there's like museums still open down
Yeah,
there?
there were. Well, I assume they are. The Snake Museum, the Reptile Museum is gone. The guy passed away, I think, who had that too.
Darn
That was
these
downtown.
people.
Yeah, he turned them all loose.
Monkeys are gone. The snakes are gone.
Well,
oh my
they,
gosh.
they turned the monkeys loose and they turned the snakes loose.
Okay.
Wonder what happened to the
Pick
camel.
my feet up here. Wow.
I don't know, but he had an elephant there, and I forgot that it was an Indian name type. An elephant was,
Yeah.
and I used to tell people that I really wanted, and I asked him one time if I could kidnap his elephant. And he said, "Yeah, go ahead." And we knew each other pretty well. He said, "What are you gonna do with him?" I said, "On a Friday night, I'm gonna take him down to Carolina Beach about midnight. I'm gonna paint him. I'm gonna whitewash him pink. I'm gonna walk him on the beach." And when all those drunks from Friday night wake up at about dawn on Saturday and they come reporting that they saw a pink elephant walking the beach, you know that they're going to be arrested for being drunk and stupid, right?
Creating some revenue.
Well, you know me. I got ideas. I've got ideas all the time, as our insurance commissioner said the other day.
Creating that revenue.
I thought it'd be fun. That would, you got to have some fun where you can, right?
Oh yeah, some friends of some coworkers of mine. We were
Like
all
send
going to
pink
go.
elephants.
No, we were going to go steal that big Ronald McDonald. You know, the big plastic,
Yeah.
big
Somebody else did that. I
sitting
think.
there in the parking lot of McDonald. We were going to go steal it and put it in our assistant postmaster's office.
There was a restaurant.
We got all dressed up, ready to do it.
There was a restaurant about 17 and Henderson? No, 17 and Onslow. Yeah, there was a restaurant there. They had a big cow.
Oh yeah.
I
And
remember
somebody
the
stole
cow.
the cow one night.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
those
Somebody,
stories.
and they found it, but somebody had stolen the cow.
Oh,
It was a heavy cow. The
Those
next
were
thing
the
you
good
knew,
old
when it was
days.
back in place, when they got arrested, when they found the cow, there was a chain with a padlock around the cow's neck. It was funny. Was that the Biff Burger or something like that?
I don't remember. I just remember the cow. I
Yeah.
remember the story of the cow being stolen. I was quite young.
Okay, it's Wednesday coming up at 7:30. We've
Yes.
got Dr. Rosemary.
Yes,
Dr.
we do.
Rosemary is going to be joining us this morning, and we're going to be talking about something.
Oh yes,
Fireworks.
I already have some questions for her.
Fireworks is one thing.
I have another question.
We have
for
another
her, too.
question.
Yeah.
I-
Seems like there's a lot of pink eye going around lately with children, and
yeah,
I want to ask her
and
about that.
I'm not a child, but it's my eye paint.
No, but
No.
you're gonna make me start itching. No, but
Yeah.
I want to ask her about that because I
It's a serious thing
yes,
when you
well,
get
it's
it.
contagious.
Just don't look at them. You'll be all right. Don't look in the mirror because you'll get it in both eyes. What?
Well, what would you do if you got it in both eyes? You're double pink.
You're in the pink now.
I'd be seeing pink elephants.
What shade of pink?
Oh, I don't know. Are there shades?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway,
I see pink. I see pink.
I see crazy right now. That's all I see.
It's right there.
I
In
see
front of you.
crazy.
It's the pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have
Ice
Dr.
cream.
Rose
Oh
and
my God. I gotta go watch.
Peter will not be in today.
He's in next week.
He's going to come in next week instead. He has some family pop in, and I told him family time is most important. So
Well, his family, they're from Italy, actually. Sicily, to be exact.
what?
His family is from Sicily.
No, I'm talking Peter Wright.
I am too.
You know, his son from Texas.
Oh,
popped in.
no, he's not from Texas. He's from Sicily. He's a member of that family.
Oh,
He's my-
okay.
he's part of
I
my
was
family?
just trying to figure out where you were
that
going with
family.
this. I see now.
Oh, yeah.
The family. Okay.
So my grandfather, yes,
He was one of those?
yes, he was.
Was he?
As was two of my great uncles.
Did you learn anything?
Yes, I did.
I was
Where
telling-
the body's buried.
I was telling Rayford this morning, I found a place right now if anybody needs to bury anything. I mean, they're really digging a huge hole at the YMCA right now. They have got machines and trucks and huge hole.
Yeah, but one day they will dig it up, you know. To build
No, not
something.
if they put a swimming pool
They
over top
will
of
one
it.
day. They'll put another one there, bigger.
I'm just telling you.
You wait and see.
No, but I will say the construction over there for the pools has come along nicely. There are a lot of trucks over there. They've got a lot of equipment, the big drain tiles, and they're homing in on that pool. Those pools.
Das pools.
The dust pools.
Well, I guess we could do a little bit of weather.
We could do some weather because
it's hot.
You wanna-
that's the end of the weather.
talk about the X too.
What X?
The one that's now it's at least a 40% chance of forming into some type of
That yellow mass.
system off the coast, right?
It's a yellow mass.
Yeah, I was just reading about it.
Over the next 7 days, there's it's up to 40% chance that it'll do something, but 60% chance they're lying.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't 2 days ago. They were saying 20%. So
Yeah.
Well, we've already.
it brings us a little bit of rain. I'm like, bring it.
But yeah, well, I like the rain, but there's already been the Sahara Desert down farther south. That's gonna. So,
Looking at the marine forecast, with a little unsettled weather along the east coast down to Florida. That's what's causing what we're having in the ocean right now. Sea conditions are not the best for a couple of days. Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles. If you go beyond that, this doesn't apply. You're on your own. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, gusts to 25, seas 4 to 6 feet. They're 6 seconds apart. Sounds and rivers choppy tomorrow. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, 4 to 5 footers, 7 seconds apart. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And then on the day, the beginning of a decent weekend on the water, Friday the 4th. Northerly winds 10 to 15 knots. They're going to be switching around from the southerly directions to the northerly directions. 10 to 15 knots, becoming east in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet and better. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Saturday looking better than that.
Nice, nice. Today, showers and thunderstorms with a high near 89. Southwest winds 7 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms with a low around 72. Thursday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 89. And Independence Day, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 90. And we are under a beach advisory today until 8 o'clock tonight because of rip currents.
Yep.
So you need to pay heed to the flags when you go out there, and you need to watch
on the lifeguard stands.
And you need to
that
watch.
we don't have in Onslow County.
no, we don't.
And you also need to watch the water.
I was out at the base beach yesterday with Kathy. They had the yellow flags, but people were in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, and lifeguards were doing a great job.
Yeah.
And there were probably 5,000 Marines on there having a.
So if you're swimming at North Topsail and you get caught up in something, just swim all the way up to
West
Onslow Beach.
Onslow Beach, yes, we know it. Yeah.
North of New River Inlet, and that way they'll come get you.
I just saw your answer to an email I sent yesterday.
What email? I'm not responsible for anything that I respond to.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Do share.
What was the email? Got that tickled. I want to know.
You got everybody curious.
Oh, yeah. Roger that. Okay. I don't blame Tillis. I don't blame Tom Tillis at all. A man who is dedicated. He's dedicated so much of his life to working to make North Carolina a better place. He came from, as he put it, he lived in a trailer as a kid. He worked as a kid. He worked his way up. Something has worked because the population of the whole North State continues to grow. Might be growing too fast. That's what a whole lot of folks around these parts think. As residents of states to our north and far west grow tired of the mess they have allowed to get out of control there, they just want out. They bail out. I don't blame them. I can't blame them. But again, I can. Why? But in a way, they won't understand. They're responsible for allowing that to happen. You, we, all of us can stop the shenanigans that are going on in Washington, our state capitals, or wherever. It's up to us. And if we sit back and do nothing, well, guess what? Bad people will do bad things given the opportunity.
Yes, they will.
Living in New Hanover County for a long time, I watched the great influx of people fed up with their way of life up yonder. Many vacation regularly down in New Hanover, some for generation after generation. That was always funny to watch families come in who had little kids, and then those kids grew up and they kept coming back with their families. I watched a lot of that. Nearing or reaching retirement age, some of those people, they just packed up their bags, sold their overpriced postage stamp pieces of property, and moved south for a better life. First thing they did, a lot of them, they started complaining because their new homeland was not like the place they left because they didn't like it. Seriously. Then they set out to make changes to make our neck of the woods, our pristine area, like the place they left because it sucked.
Mm-hmm.
You run into any of those people?
Quite often.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some managed to get themselves elected to local offices. Oh, great. Soon the quaint towns they liked became as crappy as the places they left. I can't believe our senior senator from the Tar Heel State survived as long as he did in the swamp. He signed on when the current president was running back in 2016, a man who promised to drain that swamp. That swamp is still full of rats.
Mm-hmm.
It's not alligators. Alligators are distinguished critters. They've been around for eons. Too many of those idiots that we, the people, chose to represent us only cared about the money, the power, and the parties. And I'm not talking about the political parties. I'm positive that every one of those, when they first sought office, only had the best of intentions for their constituents back home. Every one of them. For congressmen who served 2-year terms, back home folks would regularly see the man or woman they chose during the second year of the first term because they came back so they could campaign for another one. The rest of their careers, once they were entrenched, once they learned how to grab the nearest TV camera outside their respective chambers, the less we saw of them in the flesh. Seldom will they stoop to the level of even talking with reporters on local TV stations. Some have, over the decades, even set up satellite links in their Washington headquarters so they can do live satellite interviews, assuring them of not having to spend some quality time with reporters who may have some questions to ask that takes more than the 5-minute satellite windows they open up. Politics, in a word, sucks. Once upon a time, yeah, the way most fairy tales begin, right? Those elected by we, the idiots, took time to know their communities. We once were blessed with a meteorologist at WCTI in Newbert, a weather guy.
Skip.
Some may have thought him a little quirky. He was, but that's okay. Skip Waters was his name. And Skip
It was the best.
may he forever rest in peace, could pretty much name every crossroads in eastern North Carolina, tell you about the little country stores there, the names, often just the first names of the storekeepers.
Yep.
I probably ought to not say anymore, right?
No, go ahead.
The rest of the show belongs to you guys. I'm going to shut up.
No, dude.
Lady Blue and our sidekick today, Chris.
You know, you were talking
Those who want
about
to call.
Please do. 910-333-0139.
You were talking about people wanting to get into the political world, and we're always looking for those that will go in and represent all the people.
Mhm.
And we've seen a lot happen over the years with, you go and you vote somebody in and you put your full faith into them, and then they turn out to not do so well. Madison Cawthorn, for an example. He represented the 11th district here in North Carolina. He was a U.S. congressman. I met him personally, thought he was such a great guy, and, really looked forward to seeing him do his thing as a U.S. congressman. He seemed to come out pretty strong, but then got himself into a lot of trouble with campaign finance violations.
Back up to that part. Got himself into a lot of trouble.
Right.
Nobody did it but him.
Right. And there was just so many things that came out, and he's no longer a congressman. He's now living in Florida. That to me was a huge disappointment, because I really had hoped that he would do well. I was a huge fan of Walter Jones back in the day. I really respected that man. And I know a lot of people didn't like him because, just like Tom Tillis just did, if there was a huge bill that came out and it was packed with a lot of pages, Walter would read page by page by page. And if he found something in there on page 333 that he thought would hurt North Carolina, he would vote against it.
Yeah. On principle, if nothing else.
Yeah, and there were so many people, that turned on Walter in the end, calling him a rhino and stuff like that, but
He's an American.
yeah, but and what I see nowadays, the way the parties have become so divided, is that, and this goes for either side, I'm going to say Republican. If you're a Republican and you're a U.S. congressman or a U.S. senator, and something comes up and it's time to vote, if you don't kiss the ring, and I don't care who's president, I'm just saying, if you don't kiss the ring and follow along, then you are a rhino. You're no good.
Yep.
Same thing with the Democrats. When the Democrats were in power and in charge, if you have a Democrat that said, I don't really like that, I'm not going to go along with it, I'm going to side with the Republicans,
No.
it's political suicide.
Two of those were last year. There were two of those. Two Democrats got nailed bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who
I can't remember who they were.
I can't remember who they were.
Tillis mentioned them
Yes.
in his departing statement.
And I will personally say I have not read this bill. It's over 700 pages.
It was like 900 pages.
I'm putting my faith into our representatives, which is probably not
Good luck.
but I cannot sit here and criticize something that I have not read. I know there's pros, there's cons. If you listen to one side, it's all bad. If you listen to the other side, it's all good. That's Steve calling. So it's really hard for me to sit here and judge somebody based on their opinion, because
Sure.
I've not read it.
Yeah, I know, Steve, I hope you're listening. We're going to not take your call right now, because this is a time that
that's right.
Dr. Rosemary
Dr.
Stein should be
Rose.
calling in.
Yes.
So, Steve,
Please call back.
just call back about
Listen.
quarter till or something like
Yeah,
that. We
yeah.
do want to talk to you.
Let me get,
Is this Dr. Rose
I'm
here
gonna-
now?
Yeah, no, that's Steve. All right.
I think,
He hung up.
yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
I was asked early on by a lot of people to run for local office.
Mhm.
And out of selfishness, I didn't do
Yeah.
it.
You would be good. You could not be bought. You
Oh,
could not,
oh,
you could not
no,
be
no.
persuaded. You could not be coerced into anything.
I don't.
Right.
I think the problem is the amount of money it takes to get into politics, and that's part of the problem.
And where do you get the money? You got to rely on other people, right?
Right.
You've
Unless
got
you're
to go out
filthy
there
rich.
and raise it.
Wyatt went door to door. White
Mhm.
Gable. He went door to door, which I respect him for that. not sure. I watch a little bit of what he's doing now,
Right.
out there, but these people now that are in the higher, when I say higher, I'm talking the DC areas. If you don't have the money and you don't have the backing from the PACs, you don't stand a chance.
Well, see, I've known people in the past to run for a higher office. They're good people. I think they would be a good representative for all of us, but they don't have that money. And if you're running for like the House, the U.S. House, the U.S. Senate, you've got to have some strong backing and you've got to have a lot of money. And if you delve into the finances, the campaign finances on pick any one of them that are serving now, go into the FEC, look at their finances, and you're going to see they have so many PACs, which are political organizations. They have, that's Dr. Stein, they have so many pharmaceutical companies, all these different big, huge conglomerates that actually give to their campaign.
When I see those, when I look at the campaign expense reports, I get disappointed. I get disillusioned.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to look anymore because it just looks like somebody's been paid off.
It does look like it.
That's how they get their money, though.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put down there, La Cosa Nostra, let's just put down there. Why not? I mean, I'm sure they contribute under other names.
I could ask my Sicilian friends.
Sicilian. Brought to you by the Sicilian arm of the, whatever. Dr. Rosemary Stein, happy almost Independence Day. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Dr. Rose.
Good morning, Dr. Rose.
I'm doing well.
Yeah,
I hope all you are.
We are.
So far, so good.
We are doing wonderful.
Nobody's caught us yet. Nobody wants us. They turn us loose if they did. Once they had to feed us, there would be a problem on their hands. You're getting ready for the big weekend?
Just rest and hanging out for us. We don't have any plans. Our kids in the Dominican Republic, and
that's
we're
good.
happy that the clinic will give all our folks some rest. So we're happy.
Are they in Punta Cana?
Oh yeah, Punta Cana is a very nice place. Have you been there?
Yes, ma'am. Been there twice. Love it.
Apparently, Chris has been there. I haven't.
I love it. If they would come.
Yeah, it's gorgeous too. The blueness of the water with the lightness of the sand is amazing.
There's a
It hurts your eyes.
large house up in the countryside. If they would come down about $100,000, Kathy and I would be living there.
Boy, get an extra room because I could guarantee you I could visit.
Oh, of course you can. You both could visit.
Looking for sponsors.
That would be an interesting. When did you ever fly down there when we had the blockade there at Haiti? Did you?
No, we've been recent. No.
Well, this wasn't that long ago, but 15, 20 years ago maybe. But anyway, 20, 25 years ago. Do you remember that blockade down there in Haiti, Dr. Rose?
I think that, I do. I think it was closer close to 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably about that
time. If it's the time I'm thinking about, during Clinton, I believe. Yeah, that was a mess. I don't know why. I feel bad for our Haitian neighbors, but they just can't get their act together. There's way too much corruption.
Yeah, well.
And every 10 years or so, it just comes back up again, and they just destroy their own land.
They do, and there's, it's a beautiful place, but it's, it's just somehow or another the people are not able to maintain control, and people need to maintain control.
Right. Well,
And
Dr.
they
Rose,
ravage their own country.
Yep.
I have a question for you to start off this morning.
Medically speaking.
Medical question. And there's been a lot of it going around lately. Pink eye.
Fabulous.
Pink eye.
Pink eye.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having. It's interesting to see the fluctuations from place to place because we haven't had much pink eye. But pink eye is extremely contagious. And the thing about pink eye, when you have it, it's completely debilitating because you can't do anything when you have all this goop and the swelling and the discomfort. But as you know, when you have it, then because your eyes are so uncomfortable and you have all this goop, first thing you do is you start rubbing your eyes with your hands, and then you touch stuff.
Which is what we're doing right now.
Yes.
But we don't have it.
It's caused either by a bacteria or a virus, and either one of those two just lives freely in that drainage that comes out of those eyes. And you can imagine one pink-eyed person spreads it to 10. And so it spreads like a wildfire.
Wow. So, how does it? I mean, who gets it first? How do they get it?
How does it originate? Right.
Good question.
Just from somebody who did that and put their hands down and touched something, and somebody touches something. It can be at the store. That's why wash your hands really well after you go to the store, because that bacteria lives there for a little while. You touch something that somebody else touched, and that's where it originates, and then from there it goes on. But it lives in humans mostly. I don't know that it lives in any other host, and it just it's treated very easily, especially if it's the bacterial one. Some really good eye drops, and if it's the viral one, you just have to wait it out for 2 or 3 days.
Is there not in all these decades that I've heard about it? Why can't we get a shot like we do for the flu to keep from getting it?
I don't want to take any more.
Actually, a shot for the bacterial type. It's the H flu, not the flu. It's just Haemophilus influenza. But it's the shot is only for deeper, more serious infections. It won't treat or prevent the infection from the eyes. So, we'll just have to bear with it and make sure that the best prevention is really, really, really great hand washing.
How long, Dr. Rose, how long does it last typically?
The bacterial one, if untreated, can last 5 to 7 days or more, and it can cause an infection around the eye or even inside the eye if untreated. The viral infection is self-limited. That's going to be about 3 to 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. What a mess.
So is that something that you would tell somebody if I had pink eye, stay away from everybody for 5 days, 6 days? Yeah.
I'll lock you in the fallout shelter.
3 to 5 days, unless it's treated with the eye drops. Yeah, 3 to 5 days. That means you can't get to work.
Good.
You have to work in person.
Wow.
See, this is the time we got rid of all of our fallout shelters that we used to have. These would be perfect. Absolutely. Quarantine don't call it a fallout shelter.
Go to the shelter.
Quarantine shelter. Put a sign on it. Remember when they used to do that for houses?
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Not a bad idea.
Red sign with white letters. Quarantine.
Wow.
We
It
have
must have been a little before that time. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. Well, we're old. I am. Okay. We got sunburn season. We're smack dab in the middle of it. And this coming weekend, we got all sorts of things from mosquito bites to charcoal burns to sunburns to drownings to pick one. This can be a tragic, terrible weekend coming up that we want to celebrate. So all of the above, we need to take preventative measures, right?
Absolutely. And one of the most important things, if you have kids, stay sober and stay alert.
Oh, well, absolutely.
very good. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. So, if you turn your back on your children and you don't hear them, they're doing something that may not be good.
Yeah.
So keep your kids safe. Pay attention to them. Give them warnings so that they remember not to do dumb stuff. But they'll do dumb stuff anyway. They're children. But as long as you stay alert and you stay sober, most problems don't happen. And when they do happen, then you take care of it. Like your kid falls off in the playground and he breaks something. Do the next thing and make sure that you don't ignore the problem. A lot of the problems happen because parents decide, that's not that bad. And,
Right.
Little Johnny's got a broken leg. and he's been walking around on it for the last 3 days.
Oh, great.
So,
That's
yeah, trust your gut instincts and make sure you get it taken care of. Yes, it's inconvenient to take the care to an urgent care center on July 4th and sit there with, all the rest of the parents that the same thing happened to their kids. But you got to take care of it.
We were talking yesterday about this, Dr. Rose, and that is fireworks. And one of the things I know that kids love to do is the sparklers.
Oh, yeah.
But those are still very dangerous.
They're legal, but they're extremely dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And kids have short arms, so those sparkles get on them.
Very true, Dr.
I thought about
Rose.
looking at it like that, but that's so
Our
true.
arms are longer. Their arms are short. So if you give a kid a sparkler, you can expect that, some of those sparkles are going to get on the child, and hopefully not on the face and the hair, because that's bad, or on their clothing and set a little, set the kid on fire. So everything has to be supervised. If you're going to do that, be right there. You can't prevent everything, but at least you're present. Don't just send the kid out with a whole box of sparklers or some fireworks, and the kid says, "Oh, I don't know, it's not turning on." Boom. Just a lot of
Good
prevention, a lot of supervision. It's not bad to have fun, but understand that with having that kind of fun, there are risks.
Yeah, we hear people. North Carolina has some less than strict. On the books, they're strict, but as far as enforcement is concerned, on the 4th, there's very little enforcement of the fireworks laws. Okay, they go by, and first of all, there are so many of them that would keep the lawman busy just writing a ticket. Even we used to at Curie Beach, all we did was go by and seize all the fireworks. We had a locker full of them, and it was dangerous just to have that locker full of them. That way, we had to turn it over to the EOD for the county, let them blow them up.
Lord.
But it's a trunk full of those things in an evening. Oh, God, don't have a wreck. But those things, people will keep out, have adult supervision, not if you're drunk. If you're drunk with fireworks or guns or whatever, you are not an adult.
Yep, and for sure, don't have a bit too much to drink, and then try to help the kids to light up the fire. It's not a good combination. Somebody stay sober.
Fall out of swimming pools.
Here, honey, watch this. No, we don't want to do that. Sunburns, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but it bears repeating. Soak yourself down, soak your kids down, especially. I saw one of those YouTube videos last night where a guy, he was extremely bald. He'd shaved his head completely. One of those with the sunroof open, and he drove for hundreds of miles. Mm-hmm. And he got out, and it looked like from the top of his eyebrows up. I mean, I don't know how that boy slept that night.
Oh, wow.
That was not going to be pretty.
No.
Sad. But whatever.
Yep. A nice hat would have prevented that, huh?
And something else people don't think about, too, when they go out there slathering the sun lotion on their feet.
Yeah. The tops of those feet, that can be miserable. Yes. Yeah. And for ladies, let me just give you a little warning. Ladies, if you're going to be in a bathing suit that you don't normally wear, that doesn't cover as much as you normally cover, prepare thyselves for some pain and agony. Ladies, if you're going to be visiting some other countries at any time during the summer, and remember, the closer to the equator, the further south you go from here, the more direct the sun's rays are, like Dominican Republic. And some of these countries, the ladies they have what they call monokinis, right?
Monokinis.
Well, seriously. There's no top. There's just the bottoms.
Oh.
Okay. And when you're on vacation and you say, hey, when in Rome, I do like the Romans do, and well, guess what you're going to have? You're going to have some of the most painful situations going. Areas that have never seen the light of day.
Let's go back to the children.
Isn't that about right? And for the kids too, seriously, when they go to the beaches,
right.
And even little babies, when they're wears their little diaper out there,
yeah.
Please soak them down And when they get in the water, soak them down again with more because it's going to wash off. I don't care if they tell you it's waterproof. It ain't.
That's right. And the other thing is, remember that being in the water doesn't protect you from the sun rays.
Oh, no, it has
That's
to.
right.
That
That's
you go
right.
in the water and that's it. But
You need to
It
reapply.
does not. You need to take a break.
Yeah, in the
Absolutely.
water, it's not only that, but if you just get out there and swim in the water near the surface, just under the water, that is a magnifying glass.
Right, right.
Seriously.
Well, Dr. Rose, changing the subject, I read
Why?
that beautiful story that you put on social media yesterday about one of your patients, Morelli?
That's right, Morelli.
Yeah,
Yes, she is.
Morelli.
I
Yeah,
have seen Morelli grow up, and she's just one of the most beautiful, inside and out young ladies. And I think a week or two ago, I highlighted one other of my patients. Her name is not coming to me right now, but both those girls, they have just been through their families have been through so much, and they were strong. The moms were so resilient. And I like to highlight those stories, not only because of the girls and their outcomes, but because of the moms. They were just so fiercely resilient and would let nothing get in the way of their good parenting. And you with kids, you get what you put into them. If you work hard and you're by their side and you smile in the middle of storms, you will get a better product. The kids are, they make mistakes. They're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that and you are by their side and you show them that they need to be strong and they need to carry the battle through, they're going to be very strong. And there's somehow that's going to be recognized. And that's why I like to post those stories, to encourage other parents and grandparents. Stick with it.
well, you must have been a very good mentor for her because she's been awarded a scholarship to Elon College, Elon University,
Cool.
and her plans are to become a pediatrician.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
Oh,
Something to be
I'm
proud
very
of.
proud of her.
bring her
Yes.
into your
I
practice.
I always tell her she's like my little niece. 'Cause I did my best to help her grow up with her mom.
That's wonderful. Great
Well,
story.
Soon
Great
you'll have
story.
you'll have a PA with you soon. Hopefully.
I will.
Yeah.
You can have her.
Yeah. Miss you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think she wants to go all the way and be an MD. So.
Oh,
Wow. Well, it's so great to hear about doctors who are more than just doctors. They become your mentor.
Oh, yeah.
They help you grow up. They advise you. They're right there for you. And Dr. Rose is that kind of doctor.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much. And I hope that Morelli grows up to be that kind of doctor as well.
Well, you've
I'm
got
sure
it.
she
You've got it
will.
moving in the right direction.
Yes.
which is-
Yes.
I'm sure.
It was a great story.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sometimes I wonder if people are paying attention and they're reading those stories, if they're encouraged by them. So it's nice to get some feedback.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dr. Rose, you and your entire family, please celebrate responsibly and have a good time and have a very safe Independence Day weekend.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Thank you.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
You guys too. Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful Independence Day.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week. Bye bye.
Hey, that's going to be another May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be
Well,
with you.
How do they do that?
No, don't.
Well,
Be
no,
careful
no,
how you what you're doing there
that's
with those
this.
fingers.
Oh, that, yes.
Live long. This is live long and
Read
prosper.
between the lines.
Funny. Oh my gosh.
Live long and prosper.
Well, Steve, you can call me.
Okay,
Yeah,
Steve.
well,
Wait, I need your call. I need to bail me out.
Well, Steve's going to be happy that it didn't rain yesterday. I learned about the he doesn't want a lot of rain because he uses the
It's
irrigation
yeah.
system.
Oh, yeah, he's got a nice irrigation
He's got those
system.
drip
He sent
things,
me
I think.
pictures.
Yeah.
Doesn't
He's
it?
got a fan too that missed.
Hey,
Yeah, he's
that's
just
for him.
he's
That's
just-
not for the
he's
plants.
high tech.
He's got that just for himself out there. He uses the same thing when he's playing outdoors
But
in the
it's given
summertime.
me a lot of
Playing music.
ideas for improving mine for next year because like those tomatoes have just overtaken everything. They're
Yeah.
everywhere. And I'm like, hey, Lord have mercy. But I got some big ones getting ready to pop. Just turn red. Can't wait.
I've got the little ones. I got the
Yes.
Sweet 100.
Those
But the
are
others,
so
I got a few
good.
green ones. They have not come on this year like they have in past years. The big ones.
Oh, I've got the big ones,
I don't have the big ones.
but they're just as green. But
I
I
haven't
brought
had any, but
Chris
just a couple of
and
green ones.
Kathy a few of those little sweet tomatoes because
Oh,
I'm picking like crazy amount every day. I mean, they're everywhere.
yeah.
And then I'm taking a lot of mine and pulverizing them and freezing them for sauces later on because there's just no way I can eat all those.
Well, I was going to say thank you.
They're great on salads.
Thank
Yes.
you in advance for those. Kathy doesn't eat them, but I will.
Oh, did you take the cucumbers home?
Yes, I did. She will eat those.
What's really cool about having a significant other, a wife, a husband, whatever in the household that doesn't eat things you like.
Yes.
It's wonderful. It's great.
More for me.
My wife loves everything that I like.
I my problem is trying to eat with dogs in the house. That little one just wants to get on my shoulder. I want some. No, get down, get down, get down.
Keep a fly in your house like last night.
Oh my gosh.
Lee called me last night and then she jumped. Because one of her
That was a
dogs
strange noise, guys.
That's,
Well,
that's the
my-
best I could do.
Jack, he's like a snapping turtle. And he was laying next to me. And about the time I started calling him and he picked up right at the same time this happened, Jack jumped up, biting at the air. I didn't know if he was having a fit or something. I'm like, what? And it was a fly. He's like a snapping turtle. He'll jump up into the air and
I've
catch
got
a fly.
Our new little kitty cat does the same
Oh,
thing.
great.
Except she will climb up underneath the lamp because flies like to get flies or any kind of bug
Right.
like to get inside the lampshade, and she will crawl up way up there and reach out and reach out. It's like, oh my God, she will knock everything over if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Can I mention one thing from yesterday's show?
Yes.
I want to, Drew, don't know your name, don't need to, but
Well, I do.
I know.
okay.
It.
Well,
He's a family friend, and he's great with numbers.
I'm going to be putting out a post today about Drew yesterday. Because if I remember his story, he does not have any veterans that he knows in our cemetery here.
Right.
And he's making that donation. Yeah. As I was doing some yard work yesterday, I was thinking about what an awesome person he is.
Yep.
To be doing something like that, as everybody that's making donations.
He's very good people.
Yeah, he really
Firefighter, retired
Really?
in Miami.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he worked. Good God, he went to Jacksonville High School.
Yeah, he came last
Oh,
year to one
yeah.
of the games. We all
It
sat
is.
together.
What class?
That's nice.
68.
Oh, okay.
68.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
8 years before me.
Yeah. You're a child.
Thank you, Rayford.
Huh?
Thank you.
Oh, for what?
Call me a child.
When did I do that?
Just now you said you're a child.
When you get old, you don't remember saying things like that.
Okay.
About what? Y'all probably know that I don't have a problem in the world with hunters taking animals for sport.
Mhm.
As long as they do what they're supposed to do, they use the kill for food and they don't waste it. I do not support trophy hunting. I never have. I never wanted to mount any heads on the wall up here with 18 antlers on it. I've never shot one that had 18 antlers. I love fishing. First, it's fun. Okay. Second, and for me, being a lover of seafood, there's nothing like a fish that I catch today that I prepare on the boat before I get back to shore.
Mhm.
I don't like my fish dying a natural death, sitting there suffering. Just go ahead and kill them and skin them, or if you're going to skin them, or scale them, or whatever you're going to do, dress them out.
Yeah.
I usually fillet them.
Mhm.
There are certain rules you have to abide by when you're out there. North Carolina requires it. Other states do too. But if you have issues, call me. I'll tell you what they are. But when I get home tonight with that piece of fresh fish, it's great. It's wonderful. It's fun and it's delicious. And the big, beautiful bill proposed by the big, but certainly less than beautiful President of the United States, there's a provision. It was added late Saturday morning that raised tax deductions for whale hunters.
What?
In an effort to get support from one senator from Alaska. Whale hunting. At one time, it was a huge industry, an industry. Products from whales supplied oil lamps, was used in the production of candles and for lubrication. Baleen, the filtering plates in some whales' mouths, was used for items like corsets, buggy whips, and umbrella ribs.
Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Didn't know that.
Ambergris, a waxy substance produced by sperm whales, was highly valued for its use in
Bubble gum?
perfumes.
Oh, perfumes. There's some, don't they use something from whales for bubble gum?
What? Eskimos, of course, use the meat and the blubber from whales and seals as a food source. I have no problem with that back in the day. That's what they did. That's what they had available. Much like the American buffalo of centuries gone by now, it was a necessity for the survival of Native Americans. They used the skin, they used every part of the buffalo. Food, shelter, whatever, clothing. Now the president's big, beautiful bill proposed an increase in tax deductions for whale hunters and is looking uglier with every passing hour to me. It's pretty much coyote ugly.
Yeah.
Y'all want to know what coyote ugly is? I can't tell you, but you call me out.
Well, you know, they have one Democrat whose name escapes me right at the moment that is filing a motion, so to say, to take the bill back to what it was when it originally went through the House and to put it back to that. So, like you, I don't see that happening. I know they want to get this resolved and signed before July 4th. Who's taking odds
I
on?
hope not.
Do you think that'll happen before July 4th,
No.
Chris?
No.
What do you
Just
think,
for
Rayford?
general principle, I hope they do not do it. I'm mad with the man. He should not have said what he said on Sunday.
You're talking about in reference to Tellus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
That
he said-
disappointed me.
That disappointed me to the point that you will not recover, Mr. President. And I have a problem calling him Mr. President.
Whether you like Tellus or not, I just
Doesn't matter.
think
That was
to be the
degrading.
president of the United States and to make such remarks, I think shows as
Like
being
class.
irresponsible. I mean, you know, you don't do that to your Congress people. You don't belittle people like that. And and I've noticed it just sets a precedent. And you know, if you get on X a lot, which I'm on X a lot because I follow a lot of people for information, and to see the comments made by other people, the attitudes that people are taking now. You can't even say anything nice on X and somebody's attacking it. And it's just the way we've become. But I think the president needs to set himself above all that and say, while I might disagree with Senator Tillis, I'm hoping that we could work something out. But that's not what was
No, that's
said.
not his style. Now, I'm sorry, but back in 2016 when he was running the first go round, I had somebody to tell me. He said, well, you know, that's just New York. That's the way people are in New York. No, they're not. I've been to New York.
Mm-hmm.
They're not all like that. And even if they are, he's the president.
Mm-hmm.
He does not need to.
Steve.
New York is one little part of America, one small entity of
Right.
America. Yes, is a.
I don't
lot of
care
people.
what state you're from. Show some respect for people. What
If you
happened
don't
to
have, if you,
dignity and respect?
we need to get the song R-E-S-P-E-C-T or Aretha, Rockin' Aretha Franklin, and that needs to be played every day with every car driving around the White House. That's what needs to be done.
Right.
Steve, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How
Hey,
y'all doing
Steve.
today?
How you doing?
Morning.
Thanks for calling back. Sorry we were getting ready to do it, and I didn't want to interrupt you once we got started. So
I fully understand. I kind of thought it was that time, but Chris threw the number out there and said call in, so I didn't know maybe she won't call in.
okay, it's Chris's fault. We'll blame him.
So I'm going to blame him on that one.
Thanks,
Good.
Steve.
It's Chris's fault.
You got
Hey, I appreciate you telling us about that amendment that got put in there at the last about the whale fishing. I was wondering why Lisa Murkowski changed her vote at the last minute. Rand Paul said she sold America out.
She did.
And I was wondering what he meant by that, and so now I know. And immediately after the vote, she comes out and says that she hopes the House changes it because it's a bad deal.
Duh.
I mean, man, she's like a windsock.
Steve, they interviewed her last night, and when they interviewed her at first, she just stood there, wouldn't say a word, and then the reporter, then I think, okay, and you may have seen this, they asked again, ma'am, we're just trying to get a response from you. And she said, I was doing what I have to do to represent the people of Alaska. That was her answer. What it means,
Would you
nothing.
please get me a puke bucket?
I was going to say, between what Rafer said and what Rand Paul said, they called her vote.
Yeah.
I'm putting an amendment in there for it. And I hope when it goes to the House, that's the first amendment they pull out of it. It would serve her right.
You do know what they call some women to get bought, right?
Oh, yeah. It's the oldest profession.
The oldest profession.
The oldest profession.
Yeah.
She's the
I
bad.
don't know, man. I always thought that she was somebody who was thoughtful, but man, she really challenged my opinion on that.
Have I buried her yet? I tried.
I'm sorry.
Have I buried her reputation yet? I certainly have tried.
I'm gonna say she damaged it, and you just enlightened me.
I assisted her with her. Let's say, what is it? It's like, what is the martial art where I used to assist people to the floor, let them go to the floor, but I helped them out.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
No.
And I was going to say, y'all were talking earlier about the people who don't toe the party line and how they get ostracized and all. And I think you're trying to maybe think of Joe Manchin and Cinema.
Yep, absolutely.
They were the most recent ones, Sure. And I get that's a thorn in the party side, but that's America. They're supposed to be able to go up there and voice their opinion, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
There's nothing in that oath of office they took that says I will uphold the wishes of the people that voted for me. There's nothing in that oath of office that says that.
No, there's not. Yeah. So, I'd say be leery of political promises because there's no accountability for not holding the end of the bargain.
Yep.
Except for not getting voted for again. That's the only way you can hold them accountable. But I will say that Tom Tillis, man, I almost feel sorry for the guy that a vote that they weren't going to win, and he felt so strongly about that bill being bad that he's still willing to die on that hill.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's done. I'm pretty sure he made this decision about a year ago.
Yeah.
Because you haven't heard. He hasn't talked with us on the radio lately. Have you noticed?
Yeah, I was gonna say it may have been in his head, but they've been spending money on advertisement like steady. So somebody was surprised. I was gonna say somebody was surprised that he won't going to run because they're still running ads right now.
Yeah. Other people were making that decision without him knowing anything about it. I'm sure.
But that's what I said. So they were people who were surprised by it. It might have been in his head, but there were people who were putting money into his campaign.
It's called the Republican Party.
Yeah. But
they're the ones running the ads.
I will say I watched his speeches on the floor over the weekend, and he was extremely passionate about it.
Good
He said he
Lord.
read the bill, and I believe the man. And all the time that I've fact checked him, I've never found a falsehood. I've never found him to be factually inaccurate.
Yeah, well,
I might not agree with what he says, but I've always found him to be factually accurate. So that was one of the reasons why I respect him. Is that I think he's a truth teller. I don't think he lies. And if he said he read that bill and it was bad, I trust him.
One of the things, Steve, he said during his one of his speeches was that he had done in North Carolina. He had gotten an independent, a Democratic committee together, a Republican committee, and then a Health Association committee to look at the medical part of this bill. And
who does that? Nobody else.
Nobody else. And he got it. He said that when he met with the president and his staff, and let's put this all together. If you tell me I'm wrong, then tell me I'm wrong.
Show me.
Show you.
Right. And he's like you say, he got it from 3 different independent. One was Governor Stein's group. He got them to do a report on it, and then and he said, he got it from 3 different people, and all of them said it was bad. Yeah. The news media, they seem to be on different sides of the coin when it comes to it. But our senator and the independent groups he had looked at it, they were all, on the same page. It was bad.
Yep.
And he said there's no way they're going to cut that money from Medicaid without taking it away from people who are qualified and do deserve it.
Yeah.
And I have to believe him on that one. And honestly, I believe with the amount of money, there's no way that can all be people who do not qualify who are drawing from.
Yeah. I do not know.
$1 trillion. $1 trillion is an enormous amount of money.
Yeah.
And to have that arbitrary number before you actually go find the fraud, that is a little concerning to me as well. That's not normal logic. Normally, you would go find the fraud, and what it adds up to is what it adds up to.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, that's where I kind of am on it. Is that I kind of hate that Tillis ain't gonna run.
So do I.
Yeah, I think that that opens up a whole Pandora's box of possibilities of what could happen over the next few years. So
it's going to be interesting to see who all files.
Mr. Gardner, Mr. Guy who grows stuff, right? That's you.
Yeah.
You've been around for a while, right? I don't know whether you grow them or ever have. You probably have at one time or another. I know you bought them. I know you eat them. Me too.
They're not legal yet.
They're called watermelons.
Oh.
They're watermelons. Watermelons. Now, stop. Listen, Steve. This is something that I've got on my agenda right here that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to start asking you first. And then I'm not going to tell you what my responses are and the responses of the experts out there. How do you pick a good watermelon without cutting it open?
Tap it.
How do I pick a good watermelon without cutting it open?
Yeah.
The first thing I do is I look at the ground spot on it, the side that's been laying on the ground.
Dang it, you're just professional.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I do is I look at where the blossom come off the end and see if that hole is small or large. Like there'll be a little spot on the end where the actual bloom was.
Right.
And that spot will tighten up when it gets right.
All right. When do you thump it?
I don't do that. To be honest with you. To me, that's misleading. I mean, you can do that, and you can, if it sounds hollow, they say that's good. But I usually go by the ground spot on them and the coloration of that.
Okay.
I do. I do exactly what you said. Where they rest on the ground, if it's got a big yellow, if it's got a little spot there, well, it's not right. You can rest assured of that. We guarantee it won't be right. But also, when I go to the big box stores or wherever, I have to get them these days because I don't have the privilege of driving all the way to Cedar Point all the time. And I will go and I will pick one out. And the first thing I do is I bring it home and I put it on the kitchen counter. 3 days. I let it sit. It sweetens up.
Oh.
Because those things that come in from everywhere else, they're in a refrigerated truck and they don't get sweet when they're in a refrigerated truck. It's got to sit out there for a couple of days at room temperature. And I have not been let down when I've done that. Sit too long and it's going to get, well, you don't want to do that.
Right.
This year I've got sugar baby watermelons in the garden. I've got honeydew melons in the garden.
Oh,
I've got
gracious.
cantaloupes, and for the first time this year, I've got Charleston Grays, which are the ones that go up to about 20 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I've got 2 of them growing right now, so we're going to see what happens.
Ooh.
Wow.
You know, what was the biggest watermelon you ever grew?
I've never really had that much success with them. That's something that I'm still learning.
Well,
The biggest I ever grew were the little seedless watermelons, the sugar babies.
Yeah.
That's the most success I've had with them because they don't grow that big and they're not as hard to grow as the big ones. So I'm hoping this year I'll get my first actual big watermelon.
My granddaddy always planted a big garden, and one of the big things he always planted were watermelons. And he had one little spot there in his watermelon patch that he had some special seeds, and he'd save the seeds from year to year from the melons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were giant watermelons. We weighed out one that was 80-some pounds. Now, my dad grew some. We grew some here in Richlands that were just regular watermelons, but they were kind of supersized. The biggest one that he got was right about 40 pounds, 38, something like that, as I recall. But those were some big watermelons. Now, the big, huge ones, they were not real tasty, to be honest with you. That 38, 40-pounder was really sweet. It was a good watermelon.
Wow.
So
When I was a kid, I go to the state fair every year, several times a year sometimes. And it was also, it's also an agricultural fair. Most people don't never go into the agricultural building there, but they always had the watermelon growing contest, and I mean they had some that were insanely big.
Yeah,
they could wheel them in on a cart. You couldn't carry it.
that's right. Wheelbarrow, one watermelon.
Yeah, well over 100 pounds.
Yes.
Well.
So anyway,
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate the time this morning.
sir.
Thanks,
Y'all have a
Steve.
blessed day.
You too.
You
Have a
too.
blessed day.
you take care.
It's a shame that everything doesn't grow from seeds. That's the sad thing.
Everything doesn't grow from seeds.
Right.
I guess everything doesn't.
No.
What doesn't?
Birds,
Birds don't grow from seeds.
not from bird seed. No.
Okay. Let's go back to the whale blubber.
You wanted me.
I had to.
You wanted me to sit you
I
up for
had
that
to.
one, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. In reference to whale blubber and chewing gum. Chewing gum is not made from whale blubber.
I never thought it was, but people would chew the. And
It
they
is
didn't have anything like.
typically made from synthetic materials or natural materials like a type
Rubber
of
tires.
No, from trees. From trees. It's stuff that's taken from trees. The tradition of chewing gum
trees.
comes from the Eskimos who used to chew whale blubber like
Right.
bubble gum. See? So there you go.
You can't say.
I'm just putting it out there. Just wanted to.
I don't
just,
feel
you
bad
know.
about the bird seed now.
I knew there was something about whale blubber and chewing gum.
Is the weather worth planting for it? I mean, is Steve going to be happy with the weather?
With
Yeah.
anticipated rain, and of course it's overcast right now, and we're likely to go get some more rain around this year
I
part,
hope so.
and we need some. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Marine weather forecasts. Remind me to tell you about marine batteries, okay? There are different grades of batteries, and there's a marine battery for boats, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you about that.
Okay.
Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles, southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, gust to 25, seas 4 to 6 feet. 6 seconds apart today, sounds and rivers choppy. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet. 7 seconds apart, sounds and rivers. Moderate chop. Friday, it's going to be the beginning of a really good 4th of July weekend. Okay, great to be on the water. Northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming easterly in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop.
My name is Anna. I
Hold
wanted
on.
to confirm if you have received the letter we sent you regarding your updated Medicare benefit.
No, they don't forward it to where I am. I'm in prison.
sorry, but you do not seem to qualify for this.
The prison guards have not given me my mail for the day. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Well, that robocaller was like,
Will they ever get over calling me?
I don't.
I should be on the banned list. I really should.
today's weather.
Because I'm mean.
Showers and thunderstorms with a high near 89, southwest winds 7 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms with a low around 72. Thursday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 89. And Independence Day, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 90.
So I'm supposed to ask you about marine batteries, and then I want to talk about alligators.
I want to talk about alligator Alcatraz.
When I was at Tide Line Marine, and I was at Tide Line Marine working, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I had a line of people there, as we would have on typical days, and all of them guys standing there waiting to buy this or buy that. And this lady comes rushing in. She's got on her cell phone, literally. I don't miss an opportunity. If I can grab it out of the thin air, I'll do it. So she hollers, excuse me. And she's obviously talking to her husband. Do you have marine batteries here? And I says, no, man, we carry naval batteries here. And she said, honey, they don't carry marine batteries. They carry naval. And I said,
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody in that line of people out there
Oh my
were
gosh.
cracking up. Please. Men are obnoxious. Okay, they send their wives to buy things like that or buy other parts.
Blinker fluid?
Pretty much, they will send them in to do this or to do that because sometimes they don't want to look silly because they think that they should know what it is. Poor lady. I did stop her and everybody, and I said, gentlemen, can I help her? Yes, please. I just thought it was funny. We carry naval batteries, we don't get marine batteries.
That's just wrong.
So
That's just wrong.
I know it was wrong, but it was fun.
hard as it is to read my mind, Lee did. So go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I'm
you
just-
brought it up.
Gators, Wally Gator?
Well,
No,
they're
we're
talking about alligator
alligators.
Alcatraz,
Mhm.
where the president visited
Yeah.
yesterday. They didn't really look like tents. I know they're calling it their tent cities, but it didn't look like that. And so the protesters are out there saying, "Save our Everglades." And
Yes.
Alcatraz?
yes,
It's an old runway from an old airport from the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport.
Well, why are we
But-
talking about Alcatraz or what?
No,
Well,
we're talking about the
alligator
new.
Alcatraz in Florida, where the detainees are going
It's
to
an
go.
encampment
gotcha.
for the.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, not be. But although President Trump said,
He wants
the
to open it up
Alcatraz
again.
would be nice, but and then they photograph an alligator that's coming up on the shore because
They do that.
but yeah, and he was
And you don't have to go to the Everglades to get them.
making comments. What was it? He don't run this way.
Yeah. You're gonna have to run in a zigzag.
In a
Don't
zigzag
run
way
straight.
to
Anybody trying to escape.
yeah.
The president was kidding about that the other
He said,
day.
"Yeah, I'm kidding about it, but now I think about it, yeah, it's a good deterrent." But what I wanted to key on was this: Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, is always correct, or is always incorrect. He said it was being paid by FEMA funds. It's not necessarily untrue. It's part of FEMA funds that are for housing.
That I
But it's
don't know
not-
about. I've not
But it's
heard that.
yeah, but it's not the FEMA rest that we needed in North Carolina that we didn't really get.
Well, what it is an 11,000
Yeah.
foot runway, and they have set up a temporary tent city for
Are they
detainees
going to let planes land?
prior to, I don't think it's even in use anymore, prior
But is
to them returning back to where they came from. And it was actually the Attorney General of Florida who came up with the name Alligator Alcatraz. It was a nickname
Well, we
coined
got
by
an
his
alligator
attorney.
alley there. Goes from
Right.
Tampa area all the way across.
Yes.
And
Highway 41, whatever it is.
from a security perspective, if someone escapes, no matter which way they run, they're going to come in to a problem with alligators because alligators surround the whole place. And so that's what the whole joke's been about.
Just put them in
Not
the golf
that it-
course. Alligators.
Not that it's a joke.
Jesus Christ.
But it's a very low-cost facility fortified by Mother Nature. The project has already sparked a backlash, not only from immigration rights activists and environmentalists, but also members of the state's help me out here, indigenous community who see the project as a threat to their sacred lands. It's temporary.
Right.
It's not, you
But
know.
Feed the gators.
But they also said it might be an idea for other states. The other thing that I believe, in my mind, what was incorrectly stated was they have not majority of them have not broken any laws.
Other than being here illegally.
There you go.
Right.
They didn't say it that way.
They're
They-
here illegally, so they broke a law.
And where FEMA has come into it is they're going to be providing repurposed FEMA trailers and soft-sided temporary facilities
Tents.
for the detainees. Tents.
Soft-sided temporary.
It's
What do you
a tent.
think it is? A wigwam or a tent?
They're large tents. Rows of large tents with beds in them.
You know, from Saigon Sound.
I've seen those tents. I went to a race in Martinsville one time. And of course, you know, we all had tents out there in the infield.
What?
And because the camp, it's fun.
Oh, you were
Anyway.
camping?
There was some Latinos, I would say, next to us.
Uh-huh.
Their tent looked like a hotel, man. It
Two-story
was
tent?
huge. And they were cooking enchiladas and all sorts of stuff in there.
So
all
you
night
ate
long.
well?
I did eat well. Yeah, I went over and made friends. I'm not crazy.
Did you learn to speak some Latino?
The only thing I could speak was more. It was so good. But yeah, I'm going to tell you what, that was like.
Did you do that international sign language?
I just went in there looking hungry. Nice people. They were nice people. But yeah, those hotel tents are something else.
Tell you something. You've been to Miami, right? You've been
Yes.
to Little Havana or anything like that?
40 years ago.
I stopped at a food truck there as you go onto the Keys, coming from the west coast
Right.
of Florida. And I stopped there, and there was a big food truck, Cuban man. And they had some of the best food that you've ever eaten in your life. I ate it, and I went back, got some more to take with me further down to the Keys where I was headed. That was great. That's good food.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Right.
That's where Cuban comes from.
What's your plans for July 4th? Waver?
We're going to work.
Work.
In here.
Yeah.
We're going to be here.
I'm going to
I
be
mean,
there.
after that. After the show.
After that, I'm going to sleep.
Sleep?
I'm going to get a watermelon sometime today or tomorrow. I can tell you that right now.
Need to go to Bogue and get them. Go up there to Cape Carteret to that one fruit
Well,
stand.
what happens if I get into a wreck going from here to there? That would
You could get in a wreck going from here to the Food Lion.
not likely.
But the Bogue melons and the watermelons and the
Bogue sound melons are
So
the bestest
good.
of the best.
if I go by
I
this
just-
weekend, I'll get you one.
I just was trying to figure out how they grow watermelons in Bogue Sound.
It's the same.
That's salt water.
I know.
I don't
Salt
know.
water's up there in Bogue Sound, but they call them Bogue
They
Sound
generally
watermelons.
are the best around here because they're sweet.
Well, you just got to know how to pick them. Okay, now, back to that question. How do you know for sure which melon in the pile that you're looking at is likely to be ripe? Y'all make a note. A creamy yellow field spot, that's on the bottom.
Mhm.
What was on the bottom, wherever it is now. Roll those melons over when you go looking for them. Okay? When you go looking at the grocery store or wherever, roll them over. The one with the biggest, they call it creamy yellow field spot on the underside of the watermelon, indicates the watermelon ripened on the vine. There is a difference ripening on the vine and it's kind of like Other things, tomatoes that you buy at the grocery store, unless you buy them, they're local. They came in green. They sit around the boxes out there. They don't ever ripen right. They're never on the inside like a vine ripened tomato. If you get them in some of the stores, a lot of the stores will buy local.
Right.
They buy as close to being vine ripened as possible. Got it?
Well, I just
A
looked
ripe
it up.
watermelon should also feel heavy for its size. If you find two melons about the same size, the heavier one is going to be the one with the most liquid in it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thumping, that's number 3. That's the last thing you do. A dull, hollow sound
That's us.
when you tap it also suggests it will be ripe and juicy. Okay? Now, you ever heard of plugging?
Yeah, it's where you cut out a
Yeah.
triangle and you pour a fifth of vodka in it, and you plug it back up.
As kids, we didn't know how to pick a ripe watermelon in the field.
Righty then.
We
Clear.
as little kids, we would go into the field. Of course, my granddaddy had plenty of watermelons, and we'd look and we'd say, "Oh, we'd do everything in the world." We didn't know about that yellow spot underneath. I always figured that was bad, but no, that's good. But what we would do is, I'm gonna blame my cousin on it because he's the one that did it. He'd take his pocket knife and cut out a square in it
Mm-hmm.
and pull it out. Oh, that's good. If it wasn't ripe, put it back.
That's why you blamed your cousin.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't do it. He did it.
What? That's like picking up a bag of grapes and somebody's already eaten some out of it
Well,
at the grocery store.
if they put part of it back, it's really, it's not good. So that's good.
You're right. I just did chat GPT, and they're saying use the knock test, which is what
That's
Chris and I
number
said.
3.
to listen for a deep, hollow sound,
Uh-huh.
which signals juicy ripeness.
Yeah.
Opt for rounder melons over the oval ones for sweetness. I never knew that. Skip any watermelons that are shiny, soft, or unevenly shaped. I get the soft part.
Well, there's an exception to that rule.
Okay.
New Year's Day, I was in Bonaire years ago. Matter of fact, on New Year's Day, the year was 2000 because I went down and spent New Year's. I was there for Y2K. They said, "Well, what happens if you can't get back?" I said, "Yeah, what about it?" Yeah. But anyway, Venezuela, they used to have a boat that would come in every day from Venezuela with local Venezuelan, locally produced produce.
Mm-hmm.
Watermelons were always included. They had some of the ugliest watermelons on the outside you've ever seen in your life. I mean, gnarly, ugly. I mean, really bad. I cut that sucker on New Year's Day. The sweetest watermelon I've ever had in my life. Beautiful, thin rind on it. That little green part around the sweet goodness was very thin. Perfect. Thin skin. Beautiful watermelon. Tasted great. Beautiful on the inside. Ugly. But ugly on the outside, I will tell you.
So I've got a question. How long will a watermelon, once you've cut into it, how long is it good for?
You're going to keep it refrigerated, right?
Yeah.
They don't usually last long around my house. I buy them. Well, in these days, we used to cut them. If we're going to cut them and eat them for like outside a picnic or whatever, you cut them in slices. I take them on a boat. I cut them and I keep the rind attached to portions of it. I make little triangles out of them. I cut them in slices, then I cut chunks of them.
Mm-hmm.
That way you got something to handle to hold on to. Today, I cut them, I slice them, put them in the big Tupperware containers that I have, and I stick them in the fridge, and they usually last about 3 days at the most, unless somebody else gets in there to help me eat them.
I will tell you too,
Like
watermelon is also good for your dogs, just a little bit at a time.
I was
Dogs
curious because I don't.
Hogs love them.
Yeah. And your rinds and stuff like that, save them. I give them to my friend who's got farm animals, and she gives them to the chickens and the goats and
We
stuff.
used to, and again in Bonaire, we'd get watermelon, we'd take the rinds, and because the donkeys run loose down there, they're wild donkeys, and those things, they will eat a watermelon rind in a heartbeat. The goats, the same thing.
I was just curious. Guess I picked one up for Kathy because I don't need them.
Why?
I
What's wrong with you?
love cantaloupe.
Because it's just water.
Water is good for you, though.
I drink plenty of water.
Yeah, the only
Yours
thing
not
is,
flavored. This is flavored water. It is good.
yes.
The age-old question is, do you use salt on your watermelon? Folks, Steve, do you use salt?
Kathy, do you use salt?
Sometimes I do. If
Why?
it's real sweet, sometimes I'll sprinkle a little bit of salt to have the two counteract each other, as Theo calling. And, but most of the time, no. If it's a sweet melon, once in a while, I might sprinkle a little bit of salt on it.
If it's sweet, I don't use any salt. If it's one of those watermelons that's kind of tasteless, but I don't want to throw it away, I'll gingerly sprinkle a little bit of salt on it. What about Theo? Theo, do you put salt on your watermelon?
Deplorables, you got more important things to talk about than watermelon, okay? That's why I call you deplorable.
First of all, I'll talk about anything that I want to talk about, Theo. If you want to talk about something else and you don't want to talk to
We've
me,
already done that talk, and we're done with it for the day.
Where's the picture of you-know-who?
he fell.
What do you mean he fell?
He fell sometime during the night last night.
You see the mark on the wall right here?
There's some stuff up there.
See?
Then my now, if you'll see, the flag is out of kilter this morning because things came apart overnight. I don't know who did it, but
See the mark on the wall? That's where it fell, and it ripped the paint off the wall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when it fell.
Okay. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, Theo. How are you, my friend?
Good. Listen, I want to give you the definition of refugee, okay?
Yes. Okay.
A person has been forced to leave the country in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. Okay?
Got it.
All right, good. So, everybody okay?
We're doing okay. How about you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing okay. How about, what do you think about the bill?
Clinton or another one?
It needed a lot of work, and I don't see the reason to get it pushed so fast.
You were
So
right,
Tom
too,
Tillis
Reverend.
didn't like it. Where was Ted Budd?
He was right there on the floor. I watched him there on the Senate floor.
He agreed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now it's going to go over to the House. Where's Greg Murphy, a doctor, that there's a chance Onslow Memorial is going to be closed, and 500,000 of the people in North Carolina will be losing their medical.
Onslow Memorial's not closing.
Okay, it's not closed. I hope not, because they were just recruiting nurses last week.
Yes, they were.
Well, you've been bad mouthing Onslow Memorial, haven't you?
Yeah, Onslow Memorial should be closed. You should open another hospital. Onslow Memorial has a bad reputation, and it hasn't gone away.
I don't know of a bad reputation that it has. I know that there are some people that talk badly about it. I will say personally, I've never had a problem with the hospital.
Okay.
Never.
Very good. But I know a whole mess of people that will not go to Onslow Memorial. Okay? All right. So what do you think about this $1 trillion cut on Medicaid, Chris?
I haven't really, honestly, Theo, I haven't understood the whole process, the whole cutting of it. I know what I understand from what I've read is it's just trying to get the people that should be working to work.
Getting them off
but those people that really, honestly, truly need it should get it. I mean, they need it. It's an important part of their lives. Those that can work, I think we should be working, and that includes me.
Is it possible you can get Greg Murphy, the doctor, to come on and ask and find out if he likes it or not, and see where he stands?
Yeah, he'll be on next week.
He's scheduled for next Tuesday.
And honestly, Theo, I don't think America will see it voted on or passed. It maybe get voted on, but I don't think it's going to get passed by July 4th. That's Friday. They're not going to work over the weekend.
That's only 2 days.
I don't see it done in 2 days myself. I really don't. So it's going to go. It's going to not be done by the cutoff date of July 4th that the president wanted.
Are you for or against it? Are you for cutting $1 trillion in Medicaid, even if it might be few people, couple people that are skimming the system, whatever the hell you want to call it? But are you for it?
Depends on what's in it.
And giving cuts, tax cuts to the rich. Are you for that?
Well, I did some research on the billionaires and about them paying taxes. And what I read, and I do try to do my research as best as possible, they pay a large amount of money, but they don't pay the taxes like working people do because they don't work. They're done. They make their money through their investments and things. So I'm not sure what kind of quote tax breaks they're going to get because I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm middle class. Like you, Theo, paying probably too much.
According to what I've read, that the proposed budget, it aims to deliver the largest middle and working class tax cut in U.S. history, putting more than $10,000 a year back into the pockets of the typical hardworking families. So,
where did you read that?
Oh, that's part of the big, beautiful bill. You should go research that.
You sure? You sure about that?
Yes. Have you read the bill, Theo?
No, I haven't.
I was like, because I will be honest and say that I've not read it. I've only listened to the two different sides argue over this Medicaid, Medicare issue. They've argued over other stuff, and it depends on which side you want to listen to. I can't really form an opinion until I actually sit down and read it instead of listening to what other people say.
Okay, from the people who are doing this, do you trust them after all this is going on right now?
There's a lot that I do trust.
There's a lot that you do trust?
There's some I don't. But you know what? As an American citizen, I have to try to have faith in my representatives.
There's a representative that just lost. He's not going to run again because.
Right.
Do you believe him?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay. What else is it? What else is there? When he telling you, he was on the floor telling you that this is bad for his state.
For the state of North Carolina, but there's 49 other states.
What?
There's 49 other states.
What do you care about other 49 states? We're worrying about North Carolina right now.
I'm just trying to say there's more to the equation than just that.
Everybody I heard is going to suffer because they have people in Medicaid.
You heard.
Okay?
You heard.
I've heard from governors.
You heard.
Just
That's
like
right.
you heard from Senator Tillis. Yes.
What I don't like about what has happened to Senator Tillis is he has his beliefs. He stood on his beliefs. He stood on what he thought was best for North Carolina. And because of that, he has been ostracized over it. That's what bothers me.
No, what bothers me is that you people don't believe what's going on. He came and told you that 500,000 of our people in North Carolina were on Medicaid. Now all of a sudden you guys come in and say, oh, they were crooks and they were skimming.
We didn't say that. We did not say that.
Your senator said that. And believe it or not, 30,000 of them around here were veterans. And if you care about veterans, you're going to be taking their Medicare away from them right now. Okay? As soon as it passes and this becomes a bill, okay, this state is going to have problems. And if I hope Onslow County Onslow Memorial doesn't close, but we'll see because it was very close to closing last time. But we'll see. But anyway, Chris.
Do you know the Justice Department just this past weekend arrested a slew of people from North Carolina and South Carolina in one of the biggest Medicare, Medicaid frauds, over $14 billion in fraud.
Okay, so go get those people and put them in jail. Put them in the alligator Alcatraz.
Well, what made it so easy for them to get that Medicaid and Medicare?
Did you know that Rick Scott, the senator from Florida, was brought up on Medicaid fraud, and they made him into a senator? and he was their governor too. What about him? But anyway, we won't talk about that now. That's for another day.
I tell you what, as soon as you read the bill and you can give me specifics,
I don't have to read the bill.
Then I'll talk to you about it.
What Tom Tillis said. He's my senator too. Okay, I'm going by what he's saying. I trust him. Let's see if Greg Murphy has the same mentality, and he's a doctor. When he knows all these people are going to lose their Medicaid, let's see that. Okay.
I hope not, because okay, Theo, have a blessed day, my friend.
Yeah, you too.
Bye, Theo.
Thank you.
And I'm serious about that. I mean, I've always been a follower of Tom Tillis. I've always respected him. What I hate about this whole thing is he had a difference of opinion. He was standing up for what he felt was best for North Carolina. I don't know the details specifically, but what has bothered me is how he was just, the knives were thrown in his back, just bam, right away because he didn't agree. And I think that's wrong, in my opinion. I think it's wrong.
I'm interested to see how anybody could read this bill now that everything's been taken out, put in, taken out, put in. I don't see how you're gonna vote. They had all the amendments done, right? They started with H1, and then they were going through all of the amendments that they wanted to make. So I'm not sure what bill we would be looking at.
Well, if you go to congress.gov
right,
and you look up the bill, it will show you all the recent changes. Right now, let me see what it's showing. Let me see if I had it up earlier. And Rayford, it is 887 pages, so you were correct on that. There's been so many amendments. It's just like any bill that goes through the North Carolina General Assembly, goes through the United States, Congress, is that you present the bill, it goes into a committee, those committee members say, hey, let's add this to the bill, or let's do this or that. And then it comes out of that committee, let's just say it was in the House committee, comes out of the House committee, the House votes on it, then they send it over to the Senate. The Senate right away puts it in a committee. The committee looks at it and they go, we don't like what this one says, let's make an amendment to this or that or whatever. They get what they want, they send it back to the Senate votes or doesn't vote, and once it's done, they send it back to the House for a revote. That's the way it works. And these big bills, like these big budget bills, every senator, every congressman in the United States is going to take advantage and try to get something stuck in there that will benefit their state.
Of course they are.
Two things happen when a bill is put forth. Like you say, it goes to a committee.
Right.
A committee of whom? Well, that's the question. Who is this committee? And it won't always be the same committee. And what you're right. And people will put in there other things because if they know this bill is a gimme, is guaranteed, it's going to pass, it's likely to get through both houses, it's a guaranteed, then they're going to put other crap in there to benefit themselves, their families, their state, or whoever. Friends, generally. Campaign people, supporters, people who give money. They're going to put in something in that bill that is going to pass automatically.
Right.
That's going to benefit other people personally. All right? That's number one. Or they're going to put something in there so outrageous because they don't want that bill to pass. And that if it, and there's no way it will make it through. Nobody would vote for, legalize prostitution in the Catholic Church. Okay. They're not going to vote for that.
No.
But they cram it in that bill that's good. Otherwise, it's not going to pass.
Well, if you've
We
been
need to
watching
have
it,
line item veto. The very instant we get line item veto in this country, and it's required across the board, then certain items can be taken out and can be voted on. Once it gets into the full House or the full Senate, then we're going to take this one out. Will this one pass? Yeah, and then they all vote on it. Duh.
well, if you've been watching, anybody's been watching it since the weekend through yesterday morning to when they voted it on it, and they were doing a vote-a-rama, And it was like 48 hours worth of
Mm-hmm.
different senators are, coming up and saying, I want to add this amendment to the bill, or I want to change this. And then, argument, and then all the senators will vote whether to accept it. And it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until finally yesterday morning, the vote-a-rama was over and they voted on it and it was tied, and J.D. Vance came in and broke the tie as that's part of his job. So it has now gone to the House, and the House is going to do the same thing with it. They're going to argue over it, and they're going to argue over it, and they're going to argue over it, and then finally they'll vote on it. I don't know whether or not they'll
You
have
got
it done
today and
before
tomorrow, folks. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So what? It doesn't happen.
Well-
What's going to happen next week? Oh, they're all on vacation.
Well,
Oh,
they
yeah.
may make them work Friday, July 4th. It's a federal holiday, but look,
Who
they
can
get
make
salary.
them? Who can make them work?
Oh, they can be told to be. Mike
Who's
Johnson
they?
say, be here,
Yeah, and
and they'll have to be there.
no, they don't.
Well,
They will.
speaking of being there, I would like once just to watch on television, other than the president addressing
Mm-hmm.
the Congress and to see these people that we're voting for in their seats.
Good luck.
Yeah, the way that
And
works
I want
is.
world peace. Vote
Well,
for me for Miss America.
I understand completely what you're saying. It's just like during the vote-a-rama. Not all 100 senators were
No.
there. They would drift in and out and drifting in and out. Say you had an
They do
amendment that
even
you
when they're
wanted
there.
you wanted to propose. You came in, there was probably 25 people in the room. You read your amendment, and when they got time to vote on it, the others come moseying in, do their
Yeah.
vote, and then leave. I mean, it's crazy to me.
You have a seat. You have all these aides working for you. And something
With the
that
same
is
shoes.
yeah.
If they,
Brown
take, if
shoes.
they take away the barber shop that we pay for in Congress, they might not be able to stop and get their shoes shined or get a haircut.
I just would like to see them in something of this importance that everybody's talking about,
Mm-hmm.
taking sides, and et cetera, is to have them all sitting in there at one time. And look, you got to sit here. If all these people are sitting, who's presiding, Mr. President, I'd like to add this amendment without exception.
Mm-hmm.
So, added with no exception. I mean, I don't even know how that works.
All right.
That it's okay.
We, the people, do not know how our government works. I will tell you that now. And if we ever find out, we're going to be disillusioned, disappointed, and really mad. Revolution.
Well, I'm just not going to sit here and argue about the bill because I haven't read it and I haven't formed my own opinion. The only opinions I have are what I'm hearing from different sides. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could sit there and you can have your Republicans come in and say, it's bad, you got to do, it's good, and no, we're not cutting Medicare. And then on the left side, you're getting an opposite story. Have you sat down and read it? Have you sat down, Theo, and read it? Have you read the part about Medicaid and Medicare? That's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I've not read it.
You haven't heard me say anything except I don't like the title.
Right.
I wouldn't vote for it. I would not vote for it simply because of the title.
I didn't like the title either, but that's a Trumpism,
I don't
so,
care.
but I
He
didn't
needs
like
to
the
get with
title
America,
either.
not New York. This is not New York.
Yeah.
Is that what it's going to be called officially on the books? The big beautiful bill.
That's what it is.
Yep,
Oh,
that's
it's
what
being
it
changed,
is.
I think.
It's actually got a official. Let me see if I can find out if I got it.
We sit here in the morning. We do it voluntarily to have to
Right.
just see what the citizens of various states, including ours in our local area, think. We'd have fun, but we talk serious. When you were in a chair and you're in the TV studios and you had meetings, where were you sitting? In a chair, right?
Absolutely. Sometimes I sat on my desk, but
It's the
If I was leading the charge, if I was leading the meeting, I might be sitting on the edge of my desk.
it's a budget reconciliation bill. One big beautiful bill act.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they need. I just think they need to be in their seats working. Where are they when they're not?
The door, put a porta potty inside the chambers if you need to.
Schumer did try to force a name change.
And about the only thing he's ever done that I liked. He should have changed it. Should have been changed. Hey, Theo.
Good morning.
You're
Hey,
back.
Theo.
Yeah, Chris,
Sir.
I want to read you the definition for asylum.
Okay.
Didn't we already do this? Oh, that was refugees. Go ahead.
The protection granted by a nation. Let me repeat that. The protection granted by a nation, big nation or little nation, depends what you want to be, to someone who has left their native country, as a political refugee, or shelter or protection from danger. That's the asylum. That's the what we have here. Okay? So look, the whole idea is this. He promised you, the convicted felon, that Rayford says, you listening?
I'm not saying yes.
Okay, so all these people that are illegal against the law and everything, but you had a convicted felon, 34 counts, and you made him into a president. I guess that doesn't count, huh? But anyway, he promised you while he was running for office that he wasn't going to touch Medicaid. Do you remember that? Not touch Medicaid, not touch Social Security, right? What happened now when he's taking $1 trillion? They started with $600 billion, and now it's over $1 trillion they're taking out of Medicaid, Chris. What do you think about that promise? It's a lie, right? He lied, right?
Where's the facts on it?
What facts? What do you mean?
Where are you getting those facts and figures from?
Before, when he was running for office, he said he wasn't going to touch Medicare or Social Security. Check your back, the sound bites. And now he went and he wants to touch Medicaid over $1 trillion. What are you talking about? Don't you remember what he was saying when he was running?
Do you know the specifics of what he's trying to do? Is he trying to get people who shouldn't be on it off of it? Is he excluding them from being eligible?
$1 trillion.
What are the facts?
Lee, I don't know what juice you took this morning. You're trying to tell me $1 trillion on people that were scamming the system? $1 trillion?
Do you know?
Come on.
Do you know?
I'll forget it. I'm asking Chris. I'm not asking you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Theo. What was the question? I apologize.
The question is that he promised while he was running that he wasn't going to touch Medicaid. And now over $1 trillion on Medicaid. He lied to you.
If that is the case, and it goes through like that,
It is the case.
Well,
it is the case. Check the sound bites. What he was promising.
I understand it because there's a lot of things that he said that he was going to run on, and a lot of things that he has done that he said he was going to do on. If he's lost my trust, then he's not going to get a vote again from me. But I just
promised the economy, and look at the prices are going up and up and up. He promised you that. Okay, that's 2 promises. Immigration, you know what he's doing. Chris, he is adding to the border, I don't know how many billions of dollars, so he can go around with these guys in masks, picking up all kinds of people that have been here for 30 and 40, 50 years. This is not good for this country, this kind of stuff. People are on edge.
Well,
people are stressed out with this kind of stuff. They can't sleep at night.
No,
okay.
Yeah, for me, it's a tough. I don't want to say it's an act because it's not an act, but it's difficult to balance out where you're supposed to protect your sovereign nation while accepting and helping others. It's a very difficult thing to do. I wished nobody was living in poverty. I wish nobody was living in countries with crime the way it is. But we have to protect our nation. We have to take care of the people in our nation that are here already. And if we can help others, let's help them. If we can.
Chris, there's so many people that got caught into this. They're taking them to jail, and these are hardworking people and people that have been here for a long time. They haven't done anything wrong. They're not criminals. He was supposed to go after the drug addicts and criminals. He's only gotten 6% of the criminals, and the rest of the people, 6% are those kind of people that he wants to get alligator Alcatraz ready for. 6%. All the rest that he's taking are decent, pretty decent people.
Sure. And my hope that those decent people that if they're there, that within 2 weeks they get brought in front of whatever judge has to make the decision and get their citizenship.
Well, on the road to citizenship.
On the
They
road.
will not be granted.
Okay, well, on the road to
Right.
citizenship that allows them to, I believe, stay here.
Yeah.
While they're doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them were already going to the court to bring up their date on their citizenship and their paperwork. And on the way out, remember that first judge that gave him a side door? Because she knew that man was going and vetting and his citizenship or his papers, asylum papers were pending, and they were ordering him to go to court. And she already knew that she just finished with him.
So
and
she violated the law by doing that.
Okay. All right. So
Judge?
people are going to the court, and on the way out, they're grabbing them. Okay, trying to bring their asylum papers updated, and are updating them. Okay, it's not right what's going on. And now he wants more money to bring more of these people over there to do all this kind of damage. This is not going to be a happy country from now on. Okay, people aren't going to be coming over here. People are going to be going out. You're scared of everything.
Okay, Theo. We got another caller.
I'm going to put on our Facebook and YouTube on today's show some information where the Department of Homeland Security has debunked a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
So read
Chris,
it.
is this you?
Phew.
Hello. We got another caller here. Who's this?
We might have lost him.
Whoever it was, call back.
Yes, call back, caller.
Lines are open.
We'd love to hear from you. It's, again, if they're going through the process, and I guess once the process has started, once the process has started, I believe, and and everything's happened.
Okay, we got a
I hear
caller.
somebody come.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that sounds like.
I'm going to be quiet.
Hello.
Good morning, my friend.
Hey, Chris.
Come
There we
Hey,
go.
Chris.
on.
Mr. Marks, my friend, how are you
Remember
doing?
time. I'm good, Chris.
Tomorrow.
Mr. Mark.
Hey, Lee, Chris, will somebody give Theo a hug, please? And because he's just a very, very unhappy gentleman. Every time he calls in, he just is complaining and bellyaching about this and that. Will somebody please give him a hug?
Won't be me because I'm too mean.
I will.
Because he's just a very unhappy person. And he's what Lee. I'm gonna mention it. I told you I was gonna do it. Yeah, our friend Theo, and again, it's all in fun. We're all just picking at each other, but Theo is one of those type of gentlemen that shows up at a potluck empty-handed, complains about all the food that everybody else brought, and then tries to take all the leftovers so nobody else has it. So.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and I know you meant that in fun, Chris, because Theo was very generous to Reese Across America.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's a generous person. I'll tell you that right now. He has his ways. He has his opinions, and then sometimes he's very passionate, shall we say. Chris is, well, some people will say he's obnoxious in his passionate ways. How was that, Chris? Did that do that one well for you?
Yeah, that was very diplomatic. That was very yes, that was very. You should run for office, Rayford.
Yeah, I'll run from it.
Run from it.
So, but Lee, I saw that that thing on social media.
That was
last
cute.
night.
That was cute.
So, hey, we do have to give. I was at the Ospreys game last night when
Yes.
when I texted that to you. Next time you talk to Royce Bennett, I have a new name for him. He's the Jinxinator.
He's
The
the what?
Jinxinator.
The Jinxinator.
I know.
I was chatting with him last night at the ball game. It was probably the 7th inning or so. The Ospreys were winning 7-3 against Harborough last night.
Oh,
And
no.
we were just chatting and said, hey, yeah, good crowd.
And he shows up.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, the Ospreys are doing good. I think they got this game in the bag. And as soon as he said that,
You don't do that, Royce.
Royce.
Don't let him talk about hurricanes, for God's sakes.
and so a 7-3 lead ended up turning into a 16-7 loss.
Holy crap.
So
Wow. Well, the next game I go to, I'm going to call ahead and make sure Royce is not going to.
The next game, let's just go kidnap him. I got a way we can secure him for the duration of the game.
Do something, because I'm going the night that they're giving away an opportunity to win a Corvette.
What night is that?
I don't. I just
Didn't they cancel that, Chris? I think so.
They did. Oh,
yeah, I don't think they're home tonight. They were home last night. I think they're on the road tonight.
Hey,
check it out.
Royce, if you're listening, the Ospreys are playing in Rockingham for the next 5 games. Okay, the road to Rockingham is not that far.
Really far on this, Royce.
So I gave him a little bit of a hard time.
We couldn't give him a lot more than a hard time. Oh.
Thanks for that update, Chris. He's always on it. He's always on it. Chris can call the game.
Oh, yeah.
Especially one like that.
Ooh, okay.
I credit him. He loves coming and supporting the Ospreys. And like I said last night, the final score wasn't what they wanted. They played well early, and then the other Harborough just kind of came alive and kind of took it to him a little bit. But I was I kept on looking every time Harborough made a base hit and scored a run. I looked at him and he just shook his head. So again, it's all in fun. It's all
at least he wasn't clapping.
It's like the one I went to last weekend, was it? And it was like 4-3 or something like that, 7th inning. And my sister and I went ahead and left a few minutes. Well, I think the Ospreys were ahead 4-3, but we went ahead and left because we were just we're old. But the next morning I find out they lost 20-4, and I'm like, what happened that last inning?
The Jinxinator showed up.
Royce, were you there?
Y'all left and Roy showed up. That's what.
Oh man.
Chris, we'll see you tomorrow, sir.
Yes, Chris. We'll talk to you then.
I will call in tomorrow.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. Talk to you then.
And just real quick, and what Theo's been talking about, I just posted, and this is a news release that just came out June 30th, which was Monday, from the Department of Homeland Security, and they're debunking a lot of the fake news media narratives from June about
Don't
the
let
arrest and
facts stand in
stuff.
the way of a good story.
Right. But right here, it was put out. This is what's been put out in the media. Less than 10% of immigrants taken into ICE custody since October had serious criminal conviction, internal data shows. False. In President Trump's first 100 days, 70% of ICE arrests were criminal, illegal aliens with convictions or pending charges. And this goes on and on. So on our Facebook and YouTube, it's interesting to actually read the other side.
Story, facts get in the way of it. Okay.
That's why, even though I am so upset over Tillis not running again, I have not read one of the 887 pages. And maybe this weekend I might browse over a couple pages. I doubt it.
Some watermelons to eat, some hot dogs to cook.
Make sure you thump it.
But because I have
hot dogs are the watermelon.
I have different other courses I need to finish this week.
Thank you to a young lady named Kathy,
Yes.
aka Stephanie, for this
We got some little rocks today.
cute little thing.
Yeah.
You rock.
Yeah.
Kathy and
It's a
Stephanie
rock.
too.
She does those by hand.
She did this.
Yeah.
This is really neat. Nice number one.
Happy
nice
4th
rock.
of July.
And it's
Patriotic.
really cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
We do appreciate that.
They're the best.
Y'all can't see it, but here it is.
I'll be putting it on my
And
mantle.
if I wrap it in my hand like this.
That's very
Don't throw it.
No, it's not
gonna
that.
throw it.
It's
It just makes it.
probably
much harder.
better than
I
breast
saw you
knuckles.
start to
It's
put that
kinda
in your
like
hand when
breast
Theo
knuckles.
called in. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm not a violent person. I'm just mean. Okay, we will see you tomorrow.
We have special guests
We
tomorrow.
do. We're going to talk about boating safety.
Coast Guard coming in.
Well, Coast Guard Auxiliary will be joining us tomorrow
Close
morning.
enough.
Looking forward to it.
Close enough for me.
Along with Chris Miller, talking about all things sports, and then with the Coasties here, Coast Guard Auxiliary here,
Right.
some friends of mine
Yes.
from the fishing club.
Very nice man.
Yeah, they are. So we'll talk about what the auxiliary does, and also some of the things that they've seen, the situations that they've had to deal with people on the water.
Boater safety.
Hopefully, their experiences will be able to. You can learn a lot if you just listen in. Okay, they're at
Plus-
about what 8 o'clock.
Yes. Plus, they can also tell you how you can get your boat inspected for free
For nothing, honey.
For nothing.
We'll see you in the morning. You're live and local
Have a
Real
great
Talk.
day.
Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go back to